When you were born, something extraordinary happened. Not just the biological miracle of your body forming or your heart beating for the first time, but a deeper event, one that existed far beyond time and space. Your soul entered this reality with a mission. And that mission wasn't random. It was formed in collaboration between your soul and a higher intelligence before you ever took your first breath. That agreement is called a soul contract. But what exactly is a soul contract, and why is it so critical to understanding your life purpose? Let's go back. Before your incarnation, your soul met with what many mystics call a soul council, beings of light, mentors, guides, perhaps even fragments of your future self. Together, they reviewed your soul's past experiences, karmic cycles, unlearned lessons, and unfulfilled potentials. They looked at where your soul had grown and where it still longed to expand. Then, like a cosmic blueprint, you and your team drafted a plan. This plan didn't include exact events. You weren't fated to marry a specific person or suffer a particular loss. But you agreed to themes, to lessons, to soul-level growth points. You may have chosen parents that would challenge you. You may have chosen a body that would teach you empathy. You may have chosen a life filled with contrast so you could discover your own light. And most powerfully, you may have chosen other souls to journey with you, to play specific roles. Allies, lovers, rivals, teachers, these are your contracted souls. They come into your life not by accident, but by design. This is where many people get stuck. They ask, why did I go through that heartbreak? Why did I lose that person? Why was I born into this kind of family? But what if those very events, the ones that seemed to break you, were part of your contract? Not to punish you, but to awaken you. Soul contracts are not about karma in the punishing sense. They're about evolution. They're the sacred agreements your soul made to help you remember who you truly are. And here's the twist. Most people forget their soul contract the moment they're born. That's part of the deal. The forgetting, the veil, is necessary. Because the journey of rediscovery is where the power lies. Think about it. If you remembered every detail of your soul contract from day one, there would be no growth, no discovery, no moment of aha where everything shifts. The forgetting gives meaning to the remembering. So, how do you begin to remember? One of the first clues lies in your deepest longings. What pulls at your heart? What themes keep repeating in your life? What experiences crack you open over and over? These patterns are not random. They are signposts. They are echoes of your contract calling you home. If you keep experiencing abandonment, maybe your contract includes healing self-worth. If you keep running from love, maybe your contract is about learning to receive. If you feel drawn to help others awaken, maybe your contract includes being a spiritual activator. Your soul knows, even when your mind forgets. The second clue, emotional charge. Whatever stirs you deeply, joy, rage, grief, awe, is connected to your contract. Your triggers are teachers. They show you where the work is. They also show you where the gold is buried. And then there are the people. You know that person who triggers you like no one else? That person who came into your life and turned it upside down? That stranger who felt familiar the moment you met them? These are often contracted relationships. You may have agreed, soul to soul, to meet at a certain point, to mirror something, to push each other, to love each other, or even to hurt each other in ways that would awaken deeper truths. It's not always easy, but it's always purposeful. Some contracts are short, like soul catalysts who appear for a season. Others last a lifetime, like a soulmate who grows with you. And some may repeat over lifetimes until the lesson is complete. This is why understanding your soul contracts is so powerful. It transforms your pain into purpose. It helps you release blame, not to excuse harm, but to rise above it. It opens your heart to forgiveness, to clarity, to sovereignty. You are not a victim of your life. You are the co-author. And your soul contract is not set in stone. It's a living agreement. You can renegotiate it, rewrite it, expand it. In fact, the more conscious you become, the more agency you reclaim. In the next part, we'll explore how to recognize the contracts playing out in your current life and how to tell when a contract is complete or ready to evolve. Soul contracts rarely shout. They whisper. They don't show up with flashing signs. They show up in patterns, in people, in wounds that repeat, and in synchronicities that can't be ignored. In this chapter, let's go deep into how to recognize when a soul contract is active in your life and how to know when it has served its purpose. Patterns that repeat. One of the strongest signs you're in the midst of a soul contract is the presence of repeating themes, especially ones that evoke emotional intensity. Maybe you constantly attract unavailable partners. Maybe you always find yourself the fixer in relationships. Maybe no matter what you do, you end up feeling not enough. At first glance, these may seem like random or unlucky events. But if the pattern persists across different people, places, or times in your life, that's your soul trying to bring the contract to the surface. Why does it repeat? Because the lesson hasn't been integrated yet. Not because you're failing, but because you're being shown the exact environment in which your soul asked to grow. Let's say you've been betrayed repeatedly. The soul contract might be about learning boundaries, learning discernment, or even self-trust. And the betrayal isn't the purpose. Your evolution through it is. Patterns point to portals, and when you finally meet the moment with awareness, everything shifts. Emotional charge. Contract activation. Have you ever had an encounter with someone who triggered you deeply, even though they didn't do anything objectively wrong? That kind of emotional intensity is a clue. Soul contracts tend to stir strong responses. You might feel instant love, or instant rage, or a strange pull you can't explain. That's your subconscious remembering. Think of it like meeting an actor from a play you both rehearsed before this lifetime, and suddenly you're back in the scene, even if you can't remember the script. That intensity is an invitation to look deeper, to not react blindly, but reflect with curiosity. Ask yourself, what is this person mirroring to me? What is this situation trying to teach me? What role might I have agreed to play, for them or for myself? This kind of inquiry can reveal insights that shift years of stuckness in a single moment. Instant connection or aversion. Have you ever met someone and felt an immediate bond, as if you've known them forever? That's likely a soul recognition, a contract reactivated. These people may feel like home, even if they challenge you. There's a depth, a familiarity that's hard to describe. They might arrive in moments of transition, awakening, or emotional breakdown. The opposite is also true. You may meet someone and feel instant discomfort or distrust without any rational reason. This too can be a soul contract. Not all contracts are loving. Some are meant to push your growth through discomfort. They play the role of antagonist, not to harm, but to strengthen you. The key is not to label it good or bad, but to observe, feel, reflect. Your body knows before your mind does. When it feels fated, soul contracts often carry a strange sense of inevitability. You might say, "It's like I had no choice but to go through that. I didn't plan it. It just happened. I knew this would change everything the moment it began." These are soul signals. Moments that activate your contract tend to feel larger than life, not because they're dramatic, but because they echo beyond time. Your soul already knew this moment would come, and when it arrives, there's a vibration of sacredness, even in pain. Recognize that feeling. It's your soul remembering itself. Contracts complete with choice. Here's what most people don't realize. Contracts can complete when the lesson is integrated, not just when the relationship ends. Let's say you've been in a friendship where you constantly self-abandon to maintain peace. One day, you finally speak your truth, calmly, clearly, lovingly. That single moment may complete the contract. Why? Because the lesson landed. Your soul evolved. And now the dynamic may shift or fall away. Contracts aren't always lifelong. Some are seasonal. Some are short, sharp, catalytic, and some loop until you make a different choice. So how do you know when a contract is complete? You feel peace. You no longer carry the charge. You can thank the experience, even if it hurt, because it gave you wisdom. You no longer need the pattern to repeat. Completion feels like closure without resentment, like love without attachment, like freedom. Not all soul contracts are created equal. Some stretch across lifetimes. Some are meant to shake you awake. Others are here to walk beside you in peace for a time or forever. Understanding the types of soul contracts can help you recognize the purpose behind the people and experiences that shape your path. Let's explore the most common ones. Karmic contracts, the great unfinished. These are the most intense and often the most painful. Karmic contracts come from unfinished energy carried over from past lifetimes. They are born from moments when something was left unresolved, betrayal, injustice, abandonment, or even unspoken love. The souls agree. Let's meet again. Let's finish this. Let's evolve beyond it. Karmic contracts are not about punishment. They are about balancing energy, restoring truth, and ultimately healing. Often these relationships are magnetic but difficult. You're drawn to them over and over, even when they hurt. It's not addiction. It's soul memory. They may feel like, I know this isn't good for me, but I can't walk away. No one triggers me like they do. Why do I keep repeating this dynamic? The key to healing a karmic contract is awareness and responsibility. Once you see the lesson and no longer need the pain to teach it, the contract can be released. You may part ways, or the dynamic may shift, but you'll feel lighter because the karmic charge has cleared. Soulmate contracts, mirrors of the heart. Soulmate contracts are often misunderstood. They are not always romantic, though they can be. Soulmates are souls you've traveled with before, who return to offer support, reflection, and resonance. They feel familiar, safe, like home. You may finish each other's thoughts. You may experience synchronicities around your meeting. You grow together, not through drama, but through deep connection. Soulmate contracts often help you reclaim parts of yourself you forgot. Remember your worth. Align with your soul's true rhythm. They can last a lifetime or a few months. The duration doesn't define their impact. The resonance does. Soulmates often show up when you're ready to expand with love, not just survive. Twin flame contracts, the sacred fire. Few contracts are more debated or more powerful than the twin flame. A twin flame is said to be one soul split in two bodies, a mirror so precise, so confronting, that it ignites your deepest transformation. You meet them, and everything changes. At first, there's euphoria, recognition, a sense of, you are me. But soon after, chaos, reflection, triggering, projection. Why? Because they reflect the parts of you you haven't yet loved, the parts you still hide, the wounds you carry in silence. The purpose of the twin flame is not to complete you, but to wake you up. Twin flame contracts are often on again, off again, filled with deep spiritual conversations and breakdowns, catalytic for your personal mission or awakening. Sometimes they unite permanently. Other times, one soul runs and the other heals. But either way, both transform. Not everyone has a twin flame in this lifetime, but if you do, you'll know. Soul family contracts, the chosen ones beyond bloodlines. You have a soul family, a group of beings who travel with you across lifetimes. They may incarnate as your siblings, your children, your closest friends, or they may not even be in your physical life, only in spirit. Soul family contracts feel effortless, uplifting, like they get me even without words. They often show up during transitions to anchor you, to remind you of who you are when the world tries to make you forget. These relationships are deeply restorative. They don't challenge you to break. They challenge you to rise. If you feel alone, ask your soul family to send a sign. They are always closer than you think. Mission-based contracts. The world needs. Some soul contracts are not about people. They're about purpose. You came here not just to heal, but to create, serve, activate. Mission-based contracts are often felt as, I have to do this, even if I don't know why. The world needs this. I feel called. If I don't do it, something in me will collapse. These contracts often involve creative callings, spiritual teachings, collective healing, innovation, or disruption. You may feel unqualified, afraid, overwhelmed. That's normal. But the pull doesn't stop. The contract won't force you, but it will keep knocking. You have free will, but your soul knows. When you say yes to this contract, the path unfolds step by step. Most people walk through life feeling like something is missing. They go through routines, build careers, create families, yet somewhere deep inside, there's a quiet ache. I'm meant for something more. There has to be a deeper reason why I'm here. That reason is written in your soul contract. And though you may have forgotten the details when you entered this body, the contract never forgot you. Now it's time to remember. But how do you do that? How do you gain access to something that was signed before you were born? The answer lies in your willingness to go inward, to listen, to align. Here are powerful ways to reconnect with your soul contract: meditation and soul inquiry. The fastest way to access your soul contract is through stillness. Your soul is always speaking, but the noise of the world often drowns it out. Through regular meditation, especially practices that focus on silence and intuitive listening, you begin to tune into your inner guidance system. Try asking yourself in meditation, what did I come here to remember? What am I being called to embody in this life? What soul pattern am I here to complete? At first, answers may not come in words. They may come as images, emotions, or inner knowings. Trust them. The soul speaks in symbols. Your job is not to force logic, but to feel resonance. Soul contract journaling. Keep a sacred journal for one purpose: to receive guidance from your soul. Before writing, ground yourself. Light a candle. Take 3 deep breaths. Then ask, Dear Soul, show me what I agreed to do here. What is trying to be remembered through me now? What soul contract is active in my life today? Then, write freely. No censorship, no expectations. You may be surprised at what comes through. Often, the hand knows what the mind resists. Let it speak. Let your intuition take the pen. Over time, themes will emerge, patterns will clarify, and the fog will lift. Dreams and soul retrieval. Your dream state is one of the few times when the veil is thin. Before sleep, set an intention. I ask to receive insight into my soul contract. Let me remember what matters. Keep a notebook next to your bed. Even a fragment, a number, a name, an image can be meaningful. Some dreams may take you into other lifetimes. Others may deliver a message from a guide, ancestor, or version of yourself that holds the blueprint. Honor these dreams. Don't try to interpret them immediately. Sit with them. Ask, how do I feel when I revisit this dream? That feeling is a frequency, and frequency is how your soul speaks. Body wisdom and somatic clues. Your body remembers what the mind forgets. Certain places may give you chills, even if you've never been there before. Some names may bring a flood of emotion. Your body may recoil or expand when you hear certain phrases or see certain faces. These are clues. Your soul contract is embedded in your cellular memory. When something resonates, trust it, even if your logic can't explain why. Ask your body, where do I feel most alive? When do I feel most me? What makes my energy expand? That expansion points to alignment, and alignment is always a breadcrumb back to purpose, astrology and numerology. Your natal chart and numerological blueprint are like snapshots of your soul contract. They don't tell you your future. They show you the themes, strengths, lessons, and archetypes you chose to embody. Your North Node reveals your soul's direction. Saturn shows where you'll be tested. Chiron highlights where you must heal to rise. Life path. Number reflects your frequency and path. These tools don't define you, but they can confirm what you already feel and offer language for what you've always known deep down. Consider getting a soul-based reading from a spiritual astrologer or numerologist. Ask them not what will happen, but what did I come here to learn, create, and become? Soul contracts show up in service. If you ever feel lost, ask, where do I naturally serve, without being asked? What do people come to me for, again and, again? Your life purpose often lives in the energy you offer effortlessly. Maybe you hold space for others without needing to fix them. Maybe you inspire without meaning to. Maybe your silence is healing. Maybe your art opens hearts. Your service is your signature. And your signature is the soul saying, I remember why I came. You don't have to remain bound to every agreement your soul once made. This truth can be both liberating and unsettling. Because if you chose your life lessons, your pain, your patterns, does that mean you're stuck with them forever? No. Soul contracts are not cages. They are pathways. And while some remain sacred and unshakable, others can be completed, rewritten, or expanded when your soul has integrated their wisdom. You see, your soul isn't static. It evolves. And as you expand in consciousness, your contract can evolve with you. There comes a moment on the spiritual path when you realize, I've outgrown this. It could be a relationship, a belief system, a recurring struggle, a role you've played for years. And suddenly, it doesn't feel like you anymore. That's your soul signaling that a contract may be complete or ready for renegotiation. So how do you know if a soul contract is complete? You feel neutrality where there was once charge. You feel gratitude where there was once resentment. You no longer need the lesson repeated because you've fully embodied its truth. Let's say you had a karmic contract around betrayal. It showed up again and again until you finally stopped abandoning yourself, set boundaries, and chose differently. After that, the dynamic no longer appears, or if it does, it doesn't hook you. You've transcended the pattern. That's completion. Sometimes the soul nods and says, lesson learned. We can move forward. But there are other times when a contract still serves you, yet it needs to shift form. For example, maybe you had a soulmate who helped you awaken. You were perfect mirrors for each other, but now your growth is pulling you in different directions. That doesn't mean the connection was a failure. It means the purpose has changed. You can bless it, you can honor it, and you can release it with love, not guilt. Your soul contract has served its role. Now it's time to align with the next chapter. Some contracts, however, feel ongoing, like a calling you can't shake, a mission that keeps waking you up at night. This is often a mission-based contract, one that lives deep in your soul's architecture. And while the external expression may shift, you might change careers, platforms, methods, the essence remains. If that contract feels too big, too overwhelming, remember this: your contract is not asking for perfection, it's asking for presence. You don't have to do it all now. You just have to stay open, willing, and aligned. And if you're ready to expand your contract, to go beyond the original agreement, you can. Expansion doesn't mean adding pressure. It means allowing more of your true self to come online. To expand your soul contract, say yes to things that scare you but feel right. Follow nudges that make no logical sense but light you up. Let go of outdated roles that once protected you but now confine you. Expansion happens when you realize, I'm not here just to heal, I'm here to create. I'm not here just to complete karmic loops, I'm here to birth new timelines. I'm not here to play small, I'm here to embody my essence. You don't need permission, your soul already gave it. You can call in your guides and say, I am ready to upgrade my contract. Show me how to serve at a higher level, with joy, not sacrifice. The path will open, step by step. You may meet new soul family, attract new opportunities, feel new passions awaken, because the contract responds to your readiness. And that's the great secret. Soul contracts are not static decrees. They are living, breathing agreements that move with your awareness. The more conscious you become, the more choice you reclaim. You are never stuck. You are never punished. You are always being invited into deeper truth, deeper power, deeper freedom. So if something in you is stirring, honor it. If a door is closing, trust it. If a vision is emerging, follow it. If you feel a quiet knowing that you came here for more, believe it. Because you did. And your soul contract is not buried in some divine filing cabinet. It's written in your heartbeat, in your intuition, in the things you can't stop dreaming about, in the pain that became your teacher, in the love that cracked you open, in the stillness that reminds you who you are. You don't need to remember every detail. You just need to remember this. I chose to come here. I came for a reason. I have what I need within me. And I am exactly where I need to be. You are not lost. You are on contract. And your soul is keeping every promise, even the ones you forgot. Trust it. Walk forward. You're doing beautifully.